नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, Text number 34. Ye vai Bhagavata Prokta Upaya hi Atma Labdaye Anja Pumsham Avidusham Vidhi Bhagavatan Hitan. Word by word. Ye which, why indeed, Bhagavata by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prokta spoken, Upaya means he indeed, Atma Labdaye for realizing the Supreme Soul, Anja easily, Pumsham by persons, Vidusham less intelligent, Vidhi no, Bhagavatan to be Bagavata Dharma, he certainly than this. Translation purport given by Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Even ignorant living entities can very easily come to know the Supreme Lord if they adopt those means prescribed by the Supreme Lord Himself. The process recommended by the Lord is to be known as Bagavata Dharma or devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this verse, it is fully discussed about the ignorant living entities who doesn't know anything about Supreme Personality of Godhead or about Bagavata Dharma. So those people who are ignorant living entities, who are in ignorance, who doesn't know anything about the Sanatana Dharma or anything about Bhagavata Dharma or Krishna consciousness or devotional service, they also, if they adopt the means prescribed by the Supreme Personality of Supreme Lord Himself, they will very easily come to know the essence of Bhagavata Dharma. So this process is recommended by this Lord is to be known as Bagavata Dharma. So let's discuss about what is Bagavata Dharma. So there are many Vedic scriptures such as Manu Samhita, the present standard injunctions for the peaceful management of human society. So we all know about Manu Samhita, that Manu Samhita means Manu comes from the word Manushya. So the first living entity is in this entire universe is Brahma. So the Manu Samhita is a scripture, is a Vedic scripture. It mentions about all Bhagavata Dharmas and Vedic injunctions. It also deals about the Varnashrama Dharma. There are 4 occupational divisions and 4 spiritual divisions. Occupation divisions means the work which has done by particular persons. That is 4 varnas are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and spiritual occupations are Brahmachari, Sannyasi, Vanaprastha, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. So these 4 varnas deals, how they deal in the Vedic society. Brahmanas are Yatanu Yatanu, Patanu Patanu. That means they study scriptures, they understand scriptures, they preach the scriptures to others. That is their duty. So according to the occupation, Brahmana, the caste is considered. Kshatriya will administer the society, he will rule the kingdom, he will protect the people, and also he will see to that the people will follow the footsteps of Vedic style, follow the footsteps of Vedic style or Vedic injunctions. The Vaishya is his duty is, his occupation is to protect the cows and to do agricultural activities, and also he will do the commercial activities, the Vanijya. The Sudra will help all these three people. So the jati is been divided into these four categories, and all other so-called jatis are not considered in Vedic society or in Puranas. So according to these four occupations, their caste is been determined. So, but now in this modern world, there are thousands and thousands of castes according to their place, according to their time and circumstances. They themselves coin a name and they follow their own varnas, the so-called varnas. Actually, that's not true. But the truth is, we should follow the regulations of these four varnas. Only according to their occupation and profession, it has been categorized, and not according to their own whims and speculations. So the spiritual divisions are like this. Brahmachari needs to maintain his brahmacharya and needs to maintain his brahmacharya in his ashram, because he has to follow the rules and regulations which are mentioned in brahmacharya ashramam. He has to maintain the celibacy. He has the duty only to look after the ashrama's rules and regulations, and he has to accept a spiritual master in the ashrama according to the spiritual master's instructions. He has to carry out his duties, so that he should please the spiritual master at all times. So a brahmachari, even he will not have his prasadam or he will not have his food unless or otherwise it is permitted by his spiritual master. In case if spiritual master forgets also, he has to be starved during that particular time. That was the rule, that was the niyam, that was the system they were following in those days. But now it's entirely different. But still some disciples are following the same thing. So even during Prabhupada times and Bhaktisiddhanta times also, disciples were very strict in following the orders of their guru. And Grihastha has to look after both the sannyasis and the brahmacharis. Whatever amount he earns, he has to spend for Bagavata Dharma and for protecting these sannyasis and brahmacharis. So some amount of percentage of his earnings has to be kept reserved for taking care of the renounced persons and brahmacharis. So that's his duty. A grihastha, according to Srila Advaita Maharaj, each and every day the sannyasis and the saintly persons, the monks, should be invited to the house, and the householder should be ready to serve the spiritual masters, ready to serve the Vaishnavas or pure devotees by distributing prasadam and by getting enlightenment from those pure devotees. That's how the Nimi Maharaj also receives Navayogendras and getting enlightenment from these Navayogendras, like saintly persons like Kavi and other Yogendras. So that's the duty of the Grahastha. Subsequently, he has to get realization, he has to get self-realized, and he has the duty of renouncing his Grahastha life after the age of 50. So then he has to take it up very seriously, and he has to follow the rules and regulations of Bagavata Dharma, like going to different pilgrimages and taking the shelter and association of pure devotees by cleansing his heart, by receiving the transcendental messages from different saintly, from different bona fide gurus. So then he has to take the Vanaprastha, and also he has to take sannyasa by renouncing his material possessions, material contaminations, material occupations, and then he has to preach to every village and town. That's the duty of a Grahastha. As the matter of sannyasi has some brahmacharis, because of their lack of control over their senses, some may enter into the Grahastha ashrama, some may not. By controlling their senses and by following the instructions of the spiritual master, they straight away go to the platform of sannyasi, and they dedicate their whole life to broadcast the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the great acharyas like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada. So that's how sannyasi should be. A sannyasi should be very simple, and also he should have high thinking. Titiksava, Karunika, Ajata Shatru. There are so many qualities for a sadhu. So Titiksava, Karunika, he should be very tolerant, he should be very patient, he should be very merciful, he should be very compassionate, and he should not treat anybody as his enemy. Sadhave sadhu bhushanam. That is, all these things are the adorations of sannyasi in devotion service. Like how one lady dresses or makes abharnas and wears for the social functions. Similarly, a sannyasi has to have these adambara, has to have these adorations of compassion, mercy, and purity, swacha, suchi, and tolerance, and be kind to all the living entities. So Bhagavad Dharma is so confidential that is spoken by the Lord himself. The essence of Bhagavad Dharma is given in Bhagavad Gita, wherein Krishna personally instructs Arjuna. Yet in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord gives instructions to Uddhava that surpasses even the teachings given to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Here, Srila Prabhupada, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, explains that the Bhagavad Dharma is explained in Bhagavad Gita, which is very, very most confidential knowledge. Krishna says to Arjuna, it will not be disclosed to any person who is envy of Supreme Personality of Godhead and who has not done any devotion service at the lotus feet of Krishna, and who is not at all inquisitive, and who is not who is fully absorbed in materialistic desires and mundane activities. So for those persons, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in 18th chapter, I will not disclose this most confidential knowledge. I disclose this confidential knowledge to the persons like Arjuna, who are most obedient and who has a lot of faith and who is very, very inquisitive and in rendering pure devotion service. to the at the lotus feet of Lord. So in 11th canto, the same canto, Krishna surpasses these instructions over the rather than the Bhagavad Gita to Uddhava. In Uddhava Gita, Krishna he surpasses and goes in very in-depth explanations and narrations according to Bagavata Dharma in Uddhava Gita. Here one should know that undoubtedly Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Arjuna, and he motivated and gave 700 slokas to inspire Arjuna to fight in the battlefield, but just to encourage Arjuna. And yet to complete the transcendental knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord instructed Uddhava. So that means the Uddhava Gita is beyond the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Here Krishna says that Lord Krishna wants Uddhava to decimate the knowledge which he had not spoken even in Bhagavad Gita. There are some in-depth knowledge was not spoken in Bhagavad Gita. That in-depth knowledge was spoken in Uddhava Gita. So that's why Krishna wants to fulfill his mission of instructions which he taught in Uddhava Gita. Similarly, the knowledge spoken by the Navayogendras also, it is not at all any speculation from their mind and heart, but it is purely authorized by the bona fide authorities and spoken by the acharyas and great mahatmas in the disciplic succession. According to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, the living entities in the course of their wanderings through the cycle of birth and death lose all trace of the personality of God, but when they hear the eternal auspicious topics spoken by the Supreme Lord for their benefit and understand their eternal identities as a spirit source, the realized experience of being eternal servant of Krishna becomes the basic Bagavata Dharma. So we can see the examples in Srimad Bhagavatam that when Narada Muni was the son of maid servant, and when Bhagavata Acharyas happened to come to that place, Narada Muni is in his previous birth, Narada Muni's mother was serving these Bhagavata Acharyas. While serving Bhagavata Acharyas, Narada Muni was very small in his previous birth, and Narada Muni used to serve these Bhagavata Acharyas and was listening, hearing, and he was doing Shravanam from these Bhagavata Acharyas where they were discussing about Srimad Bhagavatam in length and breadth. So Narada Muni had the opportunity of hearing that, and also he had the opportunity of taking remnants from those Bhagavata Acharyas. So the point is, even the living entities who are ignorant of these, ignorant of the Vedic injunctions, or ignorant of the spiritual realizations or self-realizations of the human life, or the essence of Bhagavad Dharma, which is spoken by Krishna to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, and also which surpasses these instructions also in Uddhava Gita by Krishna to Arjuna. Even the living entities who are not at all not all aware of these instructions or about the Vedic rules and regulations, if they are happen to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam from the lotus mouth of the great devotees, pure devotees, then definitely they can also follow the footsteps of Bhagavata Dharma very easily. So a Vaishnava or a pure devotee will never have the intention or will never have the realization that is equal to God, that is above God. All these speculations is far, the Vaishnava is far from all these speculations. He always wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even he thinks the liberation given by Mukti Devi also, he refuses to take that liberation because he wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead always. Because like devotees like Yashoda Maya tied the binded the Supreme Lord by her pure prema bhakti. So Krishna was forced to get binded by the ropes of Supreme Personality, ropes of Yashoda Mataji, where she had demonstrated or showed the mellows of pure devotional service as Vatsalya Bhakti. So that Prema Bhakti, even the Yashoda Mataji, like the great devotees like Yashoda Mataji, Yashoda Maya, will bring the Supreme Lord under her control. So you can see how Krishna was chased by Yashoda Maya by a stick. So Krishna was running with fear. So you can just imagine the position of Krishna. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka, and he is omnipotent, he is omniscient, he is all pervasive, he is all powerful, he is all perfect, he is Sampurna in everything, he is Atmaram. So he has Nimesha and Animesha. All these qualities Krishna has, but still he was bound by the pure love of Yashoda Maya. So if we also practice that Bhagavad Dharma of pure prema bhakti, then Krishna will come under our control. But it needs a lot of pure devotion, lot of sadhana, and we need to abstain from all the material activities and all the designations, and also free from the false ego. And even Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lakshmi also has not gained that position like Yashoda Maya. Only Yashoda Maya has got that. So we can just imagine how great the pure love, the prema bhakti of Yashoda Maya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Please like, share and subscribe, and please do pass the comments. Hare Krishna. This is Chandrasham JPS from the channel Gita Vani. Hare Krishna.